Hello everyone, and welcome to Selena Miku's Strategy Room. Today, we're going to be talking about the update that was announced last night at like 2 AM, but I'm too tired to talk about it then and had to go to work the next day, so I can only make a video after I've gotten out of work and finished my dinner and then play some games, and now it's 2 AM again. Anyway, the update introduces rival domains, and Blessed Gardens, and a weapon refinery update for Eureka, Soren, and Leo. Now, let me get these damn pictures out of the way so you can go back to looking at my beautiful face. Now, the first topic today we'll be covering is rival domains. I'm sure most of you are pretty hyped, as am I, but I'm going to keep my hype under control for a little bit because in my opinion this seems a little too good to be true. So, some of you may remember that time when this guy went to do an interview with intelligence systems a little while back. Don't remember who he was. I don't think he was very important, except that he is a respected journalist. Anyway, so one of the questions he posed to Shingo or something or another was this talk about if they had any plans to expand the map in the future, to which they pretty much said no. Now, things may have changed a little bit since then. After all, I don't think they really meant anything that they talked to him, that they said to this guy, because they certainly didn't mind the power creep bit. You also have to take note the wording that they described the rival domains with. They merely said that you can deploy 20 units. That could mean anything. That could just meant that you could deploy 5 teams of 4 in multiple maps. But then, of course, to further add to the brain damage, they say things like, oh, only 1 dancer is allowed, which would be a weird restriction if that was a normal map. Maybe you get additional units as reinforcements, I don't know. I wish they'd drop a screenshot or something so I can do some planning. I will admit though, being able to add your friends to the rosters, pretty damn lit. Some truly nasty combinations can be made this way. Okay, so, now say if this 20-man map will actually take place, in a large battlefield with 20 units, then, well, I do have some disgusting techniques that I have thought about that could be very useful for you. First, you guessed it, the 6 Paths of Pain Plus will dominate such a battlefield. The 6 Paths can either razzle-dazzle the enemy into a completed one-sided dish of 24 damage, or Savage Vantage into complete oblivion by the likes of Jenny, who specializes in sucker punching people to death. Either way, 2 tiles is a big area. You can potentially bottleneck the map somewhere and catch up to 13 people in such a pain train, and there's nothing they can do about it except die. They also have other means to debuff or use gravity to cause an entire army to get stuck in a traffic jam for other healers to pain plus them to death. What's worse, Candlelight has the ability to utterly shut down enemy face units, leaving them at the mercy of the other 6 Paths or nearby onlookers. And let me tell you, a lot of units lately have all been primarily enemy face units. Grima, Harden, those guys, enemy face units. Christmas guys, enemy face units for the most part. Now, you do have to watch out for Bold Fighter, but for the most part, it's not that big of a concern. You just need to go and blast them to bits, vantage them. There's really not much you have to worry about when it comes to the 6 Paths of Pain Plus. It's really disgusting. They have a lot of options open to them. Anyway, on top of all of this cancer, the 6 Paths of Pain Plus can also use the dreaded Heavenly Light to heal the entire army from wherever they are, and can even use bombs to buff an entire army, changing the entire course of a battlefield in an instant. They are an exceedingly dangerous presence on the battlefield. I highly recommend investing on at least 1. Next, we have dagger users, of which Soth is definitely king, sucking up all the enemy stats and giving it to his army. However, if you pair it up with bombs from the 6 Paths, then Saizo's smoke daggers with its infamous -6 to all stats could be worth looking into. 1 toss and the entire army is now high on smoke, giving them all brain damage. I highly recommend giving him a look, really. He's actually really scary. I'd bill him if I had more feathers. Now the best part about Saizo is that you can also use him for his harsh command in case the enemy uses a debuff of their own and turn it against them. So Saizo is just too good. He's completely out of control. Harsh command is really good. I mean, with all the chills and stuff going on, you should at least have one on your team. Anyway, after this, we have guys like Prince Overdrive with his massive CO zone, boosting a large number of units within his drives. The introduction of drives on seals allows him to become a premier army leader in a large map such as this. Brave Lucina also serves his purpose nicely, except only for physical attackers. I really cannot stress this enough. Marth is badass. He can and will turn the battle to your favor. Now, if Marth is the giver, then Owl Tome users such as May and Boy are receivers. With such a large gathering army, it'll be easy to field them and block off choke points. They'll also be able to perform offensively too, simply due to the sheer number of units they will come in contact with. Another thing I've been thinking about is the use of infantry pulse on AoE specials. I'm thinking about also having them run Panic Ploy too. Maybe something to do with Wings of Mercy. I gotta think of a couple characters with tons of HP and some nasty situations where I can teleport across the map to make this happen. Anyway, finally, you have your standardized Emblem gold and ward buffs. Some of them are pretty easily obtained. So with enough of them, you can pretty much tank and kill everything in existence. Now, these are all the horrible things I can come up with for now. I'm sure I will find some other horrible things as the map comes down the line. But these units should get you started. I'm fairly certain, though, that there will be some kind of mechanics that'll shut some of these things down. After all, they restricted dancers to 1. I can imagine them banning Emblem buffs, or Pain Plus, or maybe even just have a map large enough that you have to defend different camps while advancing to the enemies. As details are scarce at the moment, that's all I have for now, but it never hurts to prepare. I kinda wish though that they at least give me like a screenshot or two though. Okay, anyway, so next let's talk about Blessed Gardens. After reading it carefully, I think it's not as bad as people say because you can use blessings or the legendary heroes themselves. So you don't actually get locked out of the content itself, though frankly it looks pretty boring. Looks like you just complete some maps and get some orbs and feathers. Maybe you'll toss something interesting in there, I don't know. But as it is currently described, it doesn't look very appealing. Looks like it's just a little orb bank for us to rob. Finally, now this last part gave me a little bit of brain damage. So we now have weapon refinery updates for Leo, Eureka, Ultimo Soren. Now this puts me in a little bit of a bind because I was just getting ready to invest my feathers after this little voting thing I had going on my YouTube. Given the rarity of those stupid duels, I might have to just hold off for the time being and assess the situation before I can make a move. My guess is that Leo will probably get an upgrade to his gravity, hopefully with an additional effect, maybe AoE damage, a debuff, or maybe just extend the range itself. Extended gravity would be really sexy, I'd like that. And then we have Eureka, giving her more supportive stats. Maybe she'll get something like Spectrum Home, or maybe something like Tactics without the unit requirements, or maybe an extended range. Either way, I think she'll probably be a supporter, and I just love supports. Finally, we have Ultimo Soren. Now, I'm not sure what to think of him. I recently tossed away as many 4-star versions of him into the Feathernator due to the fact that I already have Nino to worry about in the Green Tome department. I also don't know Soren very well, so I'm gonna hold off my thoughts on that. But anyway, that's pretty much it for my little strategy session. I hope to find out more about this map so I can fill in more details. But that's all I've got for now. I thank you all for watching. Until next time.